What's interesting I saw was the way that Elliot and Pop dealt with the war. How Pop really wanted to hide away from it and ignore it and not recognize it, where Elliot wanted to see everything about it. And they had very similar experiences with the leg injury and being given Purple Hearts and coming back. But just the different way they coped with it, and I thought that was interesting because the story was meant to have them, all their stories interweave and stuff, and that's certainly a big difference between the two of them. And that also there are a lot of themes within the play, one of which is how people cope with war, which kind of leads from that. How Pop didn't want to relive it at all, didn't want to talk about it. Even when he was really drunk, he ended up just flipping a table at Elliot instead of talking about it, whereas Elliot was doing these talk show interview things and went to the baseball game and threw out the first pitch. And then even Ginny, she would plant stuff for hope. And it just goes to show that there's a lot of different ways to cope with war, and maybe there's not even a correct way of doing it. And there's also the theme of entrapment throughout the whole play. I mean, obviously, the first thing you think of is that there's three generations of people joining in the war effort, in the sense that they may have had to, that they had no better choice and that sort of thing. And you can see that even more when Elliot was talking on the radio show, and they said, "Well, what, you want to go back to war? Like, you're injured, your leg hurts," and he said the fact that, what am I going to do, work at Subway? He has no other choice, and it's kind of a theme you see even in today, that lower classes get predatorized on by these recruiters to get them say, "Hey, you can get out of poverty, out of this," and they really can't, and they end up risking their lives for it. And then question 3 with the Walkman, I didn't know what that meant, embarrassingly so, which is just like an iPad. I feel very young. But that was during the scene where the three of them, the three generations, were singing and dancing together. That's the first time in this fugue that you really see the interweaving of the story, and it was very powerful to watch those three generations who obviously experience very different things, but with war, there's a commonality involved. And that's certainly maybe even one of the coping mechanisms that music can help with that sort of thing. And then that kind of leads to the American versus the American soldier experience, that sort of thing. Especially with Elliot and Pops, there's scenes about them killing someone. A lot of times you just hear about the statistics and everything, but to actually see them kill someone, walk up to them, look at their wallet, it makes it very personal, and it makes you understand what an American soldier may go through. As well as when Elliot is asked about the politics of the war, he says he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's just doing his job. And that we see war as Americans as very political, but for the soldiers, it's their job, and they have to risk a lot for it. And then when I looked up Fugue, I saw that it's a short melody introduced by one part and taken over by others, which obviously through the whole play, they're interweaving with each other. And this just goes to show that the trials, tribulations of one generation continues on, and it's a really vicious cycle. And then my questions would be, why do you think Elliot and Pop had a different way of coping with war? And do you think the idea that Elliot and Pop didn't play the flute was very important for the whole story, and that Grandpa really did and really enjoyed it? So yeah, let me know. Thank you.